Experiment 12, Enzyme Chemistry. So this is the start of the enzyme chemistry lab. And so what I've got set up here is I have 4 test tubes that I have prepared and labeled. So I have A1, A2, and A3 as they go across. In A1, I have my control, which is a mixture of the starch solution, which looks like this, and just regular deionized water. A2 is the blank, it only has water in it. And then A3 is going to be my sample one, and that has the same mixture as A1. It has equal parts starch and DI water. And so what I'm going to do now is, now that my water bath has gotten up to 40 degrees, I'm going to put A1, A2, and A3 into the water bath and let them get up to temperature for about 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes, so now everything that I've put into the water bath that's at 40 degrees has come up to temperature. And so the next step is I'm going to add the 4 drops of Catalase to the A2 and the A3 test tube. So A2, again, is just water, and A3, that is our sample that we're going to be measuring that has half starch solution, half DI water. So now we're just going to let that sit in the water bath for about 30 minutes, and we'll come back and see what happens when we add the iodine solution. While my 3 other test tubes are in the water bath, the 40-degree water bath, I'm going to go ahead and do test tube C, which is 5 milliliters of household hydrogen peroxide. So this is stuff you can buy at CVS, things like that. You know, don't go out right now though, because it's not safe unless you need it. And then we're going to add 5 to 6 drops of the Catalase, which is what we have here, and we'll see the reaction once those are put together. So I'm going to go ahead and stir and invert that. You can start to see a little bit of bubbling happening. Here we can see a little bit more of that reaction occurring between our two. And now there's bubbles forming along the sides, the walls of our test tube. And that'll be after we've added our enzyme. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and so I've removed A1, A2, and A3 from the water bath. And so now I'm going to add 2 drops of the iodine into each one and see what kind of color change we see. So here we have A1, which is our control. So here we have it turning very solid iodine color, brown. No other kind of reaction occurring if we have our starch and water. No, there's no analyze in that one. It's a little bit dark. Now that I see it on here, it looks a little bit blue. Here I'll add it for A2. There we go. So our A2 has a much lighter brown color for A2 reaction with iodine. That one just being the water and analyze. Are a little too dark to see the difference between A1 and A3, so I'm going to pour these out into a smaller beaker. Here's our A3. get a slight green tinge to it that's a little hard to see on the camera, but it's a very, very dark green tinge to it. And then A1, our control, we get a slight blue tinge to it as compared to the other ones. And that would be the end of our enzyme experiment. Thanks for watching your final lab, Experiment 12, Enzyme Chemistry. You can now complete your procedure quiz. Have a great summer.